Wow, 2 sit-down videos in less than a week. Let's get to it. Hey, what's up you guys? My name's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button and give it a like if you're enjoying the content. Make sure to leave me a comment for engagement and go check out some of my most recent videos, which I'll put up here for you. My Instagram, my TikTok, and my blog will all be linked down in the description if you're on the lookout for more content from me. So today I am finally sitting down and filming a Lululemon Leggings Explained. Just a mini disclaimer that I'm sure the way that I talk about products or compare products is going to differ from those of others, but let's get into it. Lululemon leggings. Wow, where do we begin? I feel like the best place to start is with the Aligns versus the Wunder Unders. What's the difference? What's going on there? What's the difference in material, fit, feel, the whole thing? So let's start it off with the Aligns. So the Aligns obviously are the most popular Lululemon legging. They're super soft, super comfortable, almost no compression. It's a nice brushed material. It doesn't really have any extra seams compared to other Lululemon leggings. There's no extra frills to it. It's just a classic style. But one thing to really note about the Aligns is it's made out of Nulu, which is a super delicate fabric. Now, I do like to talk about how delicate the fabric is because I do feel like that's where it can get a bit tricky. So Aligns are a super delicate fabric, and what I mean by that is with the way that it's brushed on the outside, if you are doing something high intensity, they could rip, they could pill. Like, I'm being straight up about it. I wore my Aligns like 3 times and I already started getting pilling on the inside of the leg from the way my thighs rubbed together. Like, that's just how the fabric is brushed on the outside. Now, they have done some slight changes about it recently, and a lot of that is up for discussion on what exactly was changed, but mainly it was just like the inner gusset panel. But regardless, it is a super delicate fabric. So with them being super comfortable, a lot of room, like feel like you're wearing nothing kind of feel, they are super delicate. So that's why you've probably heard this 50,000 times that a lot of people recommend not working out in the Aligns. Again, it is 10,000% your choice. It's your money, it's your clothes, do what you gotta do. I personally just wouldn't recommend working out in Aligns because, well, one, I mean, I like to feel compressed, so that's like a personal preference, but even more so, Aligns aren't really, like, yes, to an extent they're sweat wicking because it's made for yoga, it's made for like lighter intensity stuff. Some people wear Aligns for bar or Pilates or something lighter intensity, but like if I'm wearing them cycling, I'm gonna be like sweat stains everywhere. Like, it's not gonna absorb my sweat the way that some of the other Lululemon leggings are. And again, a lot of this is open to discussion. While we're on the topic of the Aligns, I did want to touch briefly on the Aligns with pockets. Now, my main thing with the Aligns with pockets that kind of confuses me is typically the Lululemon leggings that have pockets are marketed for higher intensity. And don't get me wrong, I understand the Aligns with pockets were in demand. The company was fitting a demand, and they seem to be really popular. I guess for me, that's just where my confusion lies, because when I think of leggings with pockets, I think, okay, like, you're going for a run, it's made for high intensity, which obviously the Aligns aren't normally recommended for. So that's just kind of my confusion with that. Again, just my opinion. People love the Align with pockets. And to my knowledge, whatever size you are in the normal Aligns, they're going to fit the same with the Aligns with pockets, as the Aligns with pockets really just have the extra seams and the pockets. But the main difference between Aligns and Wunder Unders is the material. So the Aligns is that super buttery soft Nulu material, and Wunder Unders have the exact same seams as the Aligns, besides the extended inner gusset seam, but the material is different. So the Wunder Unders, for the most part, is made out of Luxtreme or Luon. Luon feels a little bit thicker and more cottony, and then the Luxtreme is a little bit more cool to touch. It feels more like a traditional performance workout material. I personally prefer the Luxtreme myself over the Luon, but again, personal preference. But regardless of what material you get the Wunder Unders in, it's a good medium compression legging. Lululemon calls it a hug sensation. I do find though that the Wunder Unders, because of the way that it is a medium compression and the way that there's no seam on the top of the waistband, they do fall down on me a little bit, but they are a really good staple legging if you're looking for a legging that you can work out in, you can hang around in. You don't want them to be super compressive, but you want them to be a little bit compressive. Like, I normally Wunder Unders are one of the first ones that I recommend if people are looking for something to wear like every day, like wear to school, wear all around. And then Aligns I would more recommend like if you're hanging around the house or if you are big into yoga or doing something light intensity. But again, like the Aligns is such a well-known material that just people love the way that they feel. So they are a different feel. The Aligns don't really feel like anything on your body, whereas the Wunder Unders is more of a medium compression hug sensation. So overall, the main difference is the material. Both the Aligns and the Wunder Unders come in a bunch of different lengths. And honestly, the list of lengths that they come out with keeps rising. It's great that they're offering different lengths now, because before it really used to just be like the 25-inch inseam, which is traditionally 7/8 length. But on me, I'm only like 5'3.5", 5'4", and they are full length on me. So I guess a big thing to note is when looking at Lululemon leggings, the number after the name of the legging on the tag is the inch inseam. So the most popular length is the 25 length or the 7/8 length. Again, it's confusing because it used to be called the 7/8 length and then they changed it to 25 inch, but it's kind of confusing because when someone comes in and they're like, I want a full length legging, I'm like, okay, that's great. How tall is the person you're shopping for? Or, you know, there's like more to it than just this is a full length legging, this is a 7/8 legging, because it all depends on how tall you are and your body proportions. So that's just like complete side note. But yeah, so that's the Align, that's the Wunder Unders. I don't want to get like too deep into it. So next I want to talk about is my babies, the Wunder Trains. You guys have heard me talk about them to no end. They are my personal favorite. So the Aligns, the Wunder Unders, and the Wunder Trains all have the same seams. Again, besides the Aligns do have the extended crotch gusset. But besides that, they all have the same seams, no extra designs on it. Like, they're very traditional, very basic, like in a good way. I like the simple legging look with not a lot of extra seams. But the one thing to note is the Wunder Trains does have a hidden drawstring on the top part of the waistband. I don't really feel it. It is quite hidden. I honestly like having that up top because it helps keep them up. Again, the main difference between the Wunder Trains and the Wunder Unders is the material. So the Wunder Trains are made out of Everlux, which is my personal favorite Lululemon material. It's the fastest drying fabric. It feels a little bit softer than the Wunder Unders Luxtreme in my opinion, but it does have more compression than the Wunder Unders and obviously the Aligns as well. So I guess to kind of break it down, the Aligns, almost no compression, Wunder Unders, medium, and then Wunder Trains, I would say medium to high, depending. Like, really, it's just the top part of the waistband with the way the drawstring lays. The first couple wears I found when I get new Wunder Trains is I first put them on and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have sized up. These feel so tight. But then over time, they give the slightest bit and kind of form to my body a bit more. So then over time, I'm like, okay, never mind. I'm really happy I stuck with my normal size. Some people do size down in the Aligns because they're so stretchy, but it really is a personal preference. The difference between sizing isn't super extreme. It's honestly very minimal. Also, sizing is just hard to talk about in a general basis. I actually did a video where I think I touched on sizing a decent amount. It was literally the first Lululemon video I ever did. I'll put it up here. And I did touch on sizing there, so I guess if you have questions or want more details on Lululemon sizing, I would head to that video, just because I feel like sizing is very subjective. So anyway, the Everlux material is a material that if you're looking for a legging that's super great for working out in, but feels a little bit softer like the Aligns, I normally always recommend the Wunder Trains, because it is kind of that middle ground between the Wunder Under and the Align material, where it is obviously more of a performance material, but it has more of a brushed feel, so that it almost gives the illusion that it's more like the Aligns. In a way, I mean, it is kind of like a far off thing because it's really hard to, you know, Aligns are Aligns, but that's normally my take on it. Also to note is both the Aligns and the Wunder Trains, the way that those two materials are brushed, the Nulu and the Everlux, they are pet fur central. And I actually saw a comment on one of my recent videos about my secrets for dealing with like pet fur and just like hair and crap sticking to Wunder trains and other leggings. And honestly, dude, I am in the same boat. I actually, the ones I'm wearing right now are so disgusting. There is cat fur all over them, and honestly, I haven't even been able to figure it out. It is quite annoying, but I personally don't have a solution. So if anyone has a solution, let me know in the comments so that I know and all of the other pals watching this video have a tip too. What I really love about the Everlux material, which is what the Wunder trains are made out of, is it's essentially Lululemon's newest fabric. They came out with it kind of by the needs of the customer, saying that they wanted a material that was great in like indoor sweaty environments. So back when we could go to workout classes, I would go and do like a SoulCycle class, and I would come out and my leggings would be dry. Like, it didn't feel like I was sitting in my sweat. Like, that's like, oh, that's such a pet peeve of mine. I don't like feeling like I'm sitting in my sweat. With the technology of the Everlux material, it spreads the moisture the quickest out of all of the Lululemon materials. So love me the Wunder trains. Now, time to talk about the other main Lululemon legging that is made with Everlux, which is the Invigorates. It essentially fits almost identically to the Wunder trains, where it's going to have a little bit more compression, in my opinion, over the Wunder Under. It's made out of the Everlux, except the Invigorate is essentially the version of Wunder trains that has pockets and extra seams. Now, although I personally don't love the Invigorates because I find that they're not tight on the bottom, but again, that's a me problem. That's a personal issue I've got going on here. But overall, the Invigorates are pretty popular, and it's the same great Everlux material as the Wunder trains. It has pockets and a few extra seams. So yeah, super fun. So next one to talk about is the Fast and Free. So the Fast and Free is super popular for higher intensity workouts, especially popular with runners with the side pockets. And I personally find that the Fast and Frees, and similarly with the Swift Speed, which we will chat about next, are very compressive. Like, I personally, I don't own any Fast and Frees, but whenever I've tried them on, I definitely feel more comfortable sizing up because I have more room in the stomach region. But again, that's a personal preference. It's not super common to size up in the Fast and Frees. Again, it's just really a personal preference. That's why sizing is really hard, because a lot of it is personal preference. But Fast and Frees are super popular with runners. It's made out of the Nulux material, so it's essentially the Naked sensation similar to the Aligns, but made in a new material that is super sweat wicking that you can work out in. I do like Nulux. I definitely prefer Everlux myself, but Nulux is really nice. Like, for example, they at one point came out with Wunder Unders in Nulux, and I was quite tempted because I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of like all the extra seams, pockets. Like, I'm so used to shoving my phone like in the waistband of my leggings that I think I was wearing a legging with pockets like a couple weeks ago. I didn't even use the pocket. And I'm like, Ashley, there's a pocket for a reason. So I don't know, I guess I'm just so used to not having leggings with pockets that I personally don't really care. But one thing to note is it also does have the drawstring on the top. It does have a lot of like hidden pockets for different things, whether your keys, a card, or something while you are going out for a run. So super functional in that sense. And really the other main thing is it does have a laser cut edge on the bottom, so there's no seam on the bottom. Normally, so Lululemon does offer complimentary hemming. Anything with a seam, it can be hemmed, whether it's a top, leggings, pants, shirt, for the lifetime of the garment. And at least in my store, Fast and Frees, we typically never consent to the seamstress to get hemmed, just because of the way the material is and there isn't already an existing seam. So anyway, in my experience, Fast and Frees can't get hemmed, but now there's like so many more lengths than there was previous. Typically it was just the 19-inch, or which is a very cropped crop, like right below the knee crop, or the 25 or the 28. So the 25 being the 7/8 length, but full length on someone around my height. But recently they came out with 23 inches, and now they're kind of also popping in 21 inches as well. So just a lot of different lengths going on. And then typically for winter, they'll come out with a version of the Fast and Free, and also the Wunder Under that's brushed on the inside, you know, keep a bit warmer. Okay, so the Swift Speed. So Swift Speed used to be called the Speed Up, but they got rid of the Speed Up and then they revamped it to be the Swift Speed. And the Swift Speed, again, is super popular with runners or more high intensity. I tried on my normal size in leggings, which is a 4, and they were so tight, I could barely get them above my knees. Like, that waistband is very, very compressive. So I had to size up just to try them on. Again, personal preference, but the Fast and Freeze and the Swift Speed, with the compression that they have in the waistband, you might have to size up depending. But nothing else really to note. It does have the drawstring as well. Really the main thing is you can kind of see here that there's no top seam on the side pocket, or down here, like down the bottom, it's fused. So I do just want to note, so the Pace Rivals also have a fused seam, and over time that fused seam can come apart. And since it's a fused seam and it's not a normal seam, it's not like you can easily get them re-sewn. I mean, I'm sure if you really tried, but that's why I would highly recommend, just in general with Lululemon, don't put them in the dryer, or if you're going to put them in the dryer, very low heat. But typically I air dry all of my Lululemon clothes because I've heard that heat does mess with that fuse seam. So that's really the only thing to note. But like, I'm talking like, I've seen people come in like years down the line and have issues with the fuse seam, like never just getting it, at least in my experience. I talked a bit about the All the Right Places in my last video because I was so shocked to see that they came out with new colors. But the All the Right Places, in my opinion, fits similar to the Wunder Unders because they are made out of Luxtreme. They are a 23-inch, so on someone like me, they don't really fit my body proportions. They're kind of not tight at the bottom, and I kind of have to like fold them up for them to be tight. Again, it's just the way that the leggings are cropped, and it just does not fit my body proportions. I did used to really like the All the Right Places, like OG, like way back when, but they do fall down a lot in my experience. Similar to the Wunder Unders in Luxtreme, in my experience, they do fall down a lot. So I found like I was really tugging on them, and they do have a lot of extra seams. So, I mean, again, a preference thing, but I do think they're really flattering. So the Limit Tight is same as, it is made out of the same material as the Aligned. It's made out of Nulu. So super delicate fabric. It also has the extended gusset. And I actually think the Limits are quite flattering. It does have a high-low seam. You can kind of tell right here, it kind of goes down a little bit, but it's super subtle. And I honestly just think the few extra seams that it does have are quite flattering. Okay, so here is the Pace Rival that I was talking about. Let me see if I can get a picture of the pocket. Okay, here we go. So similarly, this part on the side is the part where I've seen people come in with issues like years down the line that the fuse seam did come undone. Because in a way, with the way that it's fused, it's like kind of like a glue. I'm not super good with that kind of technical terms. But the Pace Rival, the Pace Rivals are okay, like at least in my opinion. They aren't super popular, but they are nice. I'm pretty sure I did have to size up when trying them on as well. I don't know. They just like, I think fit weird on me. I think that was like my vibe with them. But they are, again, just like another cropped legging made out of Luxtreme material. I would say like more of like a medium compression. I would say they have more compression than the All the Right Places and the Wunder Unders, but not as much compression as the Fast and Freeze and the Swift Speeds. Not too much to say about them. And yeah, those are the main core Lululemon leggings. I really wanted to give more of like an intro to them. I'm sure I could rant much longer about all of this, but I didn't want to bore you to death. And of course, there's a bunch of different versions that I didn't mention of some of the leggings and some one-off styles that have been around for a while or were around but are no longer around. RAP and Movements. I'm wearing mine right now. They are still literally my favorite pair of Lululemon leggings. They fit similarly to the Wunder Trains. I would say not as compressed as the Wunder Trains because they don't have the drawstring, but they're made out of Everlux and they're just like my favorite. And, you know, RIP. I wanted to give more of an overview for the most popular Lululemon legging styles. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by giving it a like and leave me a comment down below for engagement. If you're on the lookout for more Lululemon Explained videos, I did a shorts and a bra one that I will also leave down in the description. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.